on restraining the growth of the Federal real estate footprint. We will also look at possible impediments to improving these efforts. In 2003, the GAO placed real property management on its list of high-risk governmental activities, where it remains today. Both these committee and GAO have repeatedly expressed serious concerns about how Federal real property has been managed. I am pleased, therefore, that the administration has made a concerted effort to right-size the Federal real estate portfolio. First, the Office and Management and Budget issued, or OMB, a memorandum requiring all Federal agencies to freeze their Federal real estate footprints. Secondly, the administration proposed legislation to create a board that would operate similar to the Base Realignment and Closure Commission, or BRAC, to expedite the sale of underutilized and excess properties. Thirdly, the administration has released further guidance that Federal agencies should reduce their footprint. It has been very clear that the administration is serious about addressing these high-risk activities. However, the CBO and various former GSA officials have raised concerns about the potential effectiveness or need for this proposed board. These former senior officials have testified before other committees and have consistently questioned whether there is a real problem or not. They've questioned whether a significant number of underutilized Federal properties that actually warrant the creation of a new Federal bureaucracy. GAO has also raised concerns about reliability of the data and the Federal real property profile, which describes most of the real property owned by the Federal government and is considered by OMB to be a key management tool. Without a rigorous inventory and analysis, it is impossible to know whether the Federal government is really sitting on billions of dollars of underutilized properties and if there is a market for these properties at all. As the Federal government's landlord, GSA has a responsibility to guide agencies toward making good decisions that reflect both the will of the administration and Congress. The Federal government must make better decisions on how to house these Federal agencies. With the advent of hoteling, alternate work schedules, and teleworking, it is very possible for Federal agencies to have a smaller footprint than ever, as the need for Federal workers to be in one fixed location decreases. I remain open to a legislative fix if that is what is necessary to address the real documented concerns about the management of real property. However, I also want to ensure that any legislation offers the proper protections for the current stakeholders in the disposal process while improving the process for disposition of real property. These important stakeholders include homeless service providers and municipalities eligible for public benefit conveyances. So, I'm especially interested in whether or not the current guidelines are working as Congress intended to allow homeless service providers an appropriate opportunity to make use of surplus or underutilized Federal properties to address the devastating problems of homelessness, particularly among returning veterans. So I look forward to the testimony of today's witnesses to help us evaluate the need for legislation to dispose of Federal property that might be surplus or underutilized. And I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ranking Member Carson. On our first panel today, we have